store. It's what's called a transitional store. And basically it kind of bridges the gap between like a full-service health food, $4 a tomato place, and say Ralph's or Albertsons. Actually more like food for less or Albertsons. But here's news for you, the Whole Foods thing, this is where it becomes a lifestyle choice. Not very many people are buying the $4 tomatoes, especially in this economy. That's why if you notice, even Whole Foods, when you see their circulars, they're talking about whole values. They're trying to show that you don't have to go and basically make a choice between shopping at Whole Foods and paying your mortgage. They're trying to position themselves as a value player. Okay, if you can position yourself as a value player in La Jolla, you can position yourself as a value player in Sherman Heights. That's one thing. Calling them on their disingenuous statements. Lord, I wish I could read through some of this stuff. If you guys want, I am going to just go ahead and make it pretty and put it on a website. Actually, if I had time, wow, that's a great question. Here it is. No, it isn't. I can't find it right away. But let's go back to being allies. But does that make sense, what I just said? Yeah, I think...
No.
Why not? I want to stay with it then.
I don't want to... Because I'm from this community, so I'm not sure what the Henry is, and you likened it to a food for less, so I could picture it.
No, Henry's isn't a food for less. It's kind of between one. Henry's are like bonies. You know, it's like... someone explain Henry's.
It's like a farm. It's supposedly, it calls itself Henry's Farmers Market, so they have mostly fruits and vegetables. They also sell wine and like a little bit of like frozen stuff, but it's less expensive than Whole Foods, but maybe more expensive than buying produce at like Vons.
Right.
Yeah. So it's a really small store. It's probably like half the size of what a Vons is, or like maybe a very small Vons.
Big vitamin department.
Big, huge vitamin department. That's what makes it transitional. What part of town do you live in? Can I ask?
I live in Beaumont Park in LA County.
In LA County? Okay. Do you know what like Bristol Farms, do you know where that is? Okay. That's actually, Bristol Farms is pretty premium. But basically it's an independent grocer, or it used to be before Whole Foods bought it. It's an independent grocer based in San Diego, or it was, that basically came around in the 70s. It was kind of the hippie craze actually, and then it got kind of corporatized. But they sell stuff in bulk, they sell natural stuff, they sell organic stuff. Incidentally, nowadays they also sell Coke and Pepsi, I'm noticing. So that's what they mean by transitional. You get to have a little bit more choice. You can go over here, you can go over here. But the whole idea of it is that it is good. It is fresh. And actually sometimes it does undercut Albertsons or Ralph's. Yeah. It's good food. It's good food. And it's done well. Not one of them in targeted markets.
Yeah, during the Vons strike,
yeah.
A lot of people migrated to Henry's and stayed there.
And stayed there. Yeah. And actually, I am of double mind on that. I participated in the grocery worker strike. I'm a union worker at CIU 221, and so when the grocery workers went on strike, I was right there on the picket line with them. And it took me about 5 years to go back to full-service supermarkets. Partially because I believe in union labor. Even though I thought they got a crappy contract, but the next contract they got was better. And also because that's another thing about these wonderful stores with the $4 tomatoes, they're not unionized. So they're not union. And that's one of the things that hopefully, gosh, I wish we had time to talk about. One of the things that I believe in, I guess, maybe I'll close with this because we're almost done. And by the way, you guys have been awesome, and I'm sorry that, I hope you guys felt that you guys learned something. That's good. Phew. Because I'm tired. Okay. Well, I'm not going to lie. You poor Peter.
You were also entertained.
What?
You were also entertained.
Oh, but you know that. All right. I'm going to actually just read some things because, you know, left to me, I'll just go on another tangent. Critical analysis of class race privilege. Where is whiteness/privilege located in community food? How do whites/privileged people experience food space? And by that I mean being able to go into the wonderful, everyone looks happy when they're at Trader Joe's. Everyone looks happy when they're buying the tomatoes at Whole Foods. They look happy at Henry's. You don't see a whole lot of happy people picking through like 5-day-old tomatoes. You don't. They know what they're buying, and they know the sort of people who get that. What the world thinks of them. Exclusion occurs in many little and larger ways that work to make people uncomfortable in the neighborhood and unwanted in the neighborhood. So even if there's money to go from Sherman Heights to La Jolla to go to Whole Foods, will she feel comfortable? I feel uncomfortable in some places. I'm aware of the fact that, you know, I am a pudgy African-American middle-aged lady, and sometimes I am a surprise. People who like are in Solana Beach, and I'm sitting there at the Henry's on whatever that's
Loma Santa Fe.
Thank you, on Loma Santa Fe. I went to the Ross, it's a good Ross, and I'm sitting there and I'm picking at it and saying, oh, good Lord, what is she doing here? Sometimes it's a pleasant surprise. Encinitas, it's a pleasant surprise. Not a lot of black people there, but they're very progressive. It's like, oh, look, one, hey! We're not nearly as segregated as we think. And it's like, actually, you are, but I'm glad you're happy that I'm here. And I bet you're even happier that I'm going to go down to 5 later. Does racism, class, and gender relations have anything to do with the food system? Yeah. Because when we start talking about that, one of the things that we haven't talked about was the economies. Who is winning in this food system? If you believe, as I do, that classism and racism is basically economic, who's winning here? Who's winning in terms of where the tax increments go? Who's winning in terms of who gets to pawn off inferior food at exploitive prices? By the way, what about those farm workers? When we talk about sustainability and we talk about things that I really believe in, I live on an acre, and you better believe I believe in growing food. It's like, well, everyone should grow their own food. Everyone should get rid of lawns and grow their own food. Tell this to a working class person who's worked their entire life living in a 2-bedroom apartment with 4 kids who finally gets a lawn. A lot of the things that we are advocating for are things that we have the privilege enough to be able to reject.
Mm-hmm. I totally agree.
My parents worked long and hard for a patch of lawn that's about the size of my breezeway. No one is going to tell those people they have to get rid of their lawn and plant a cucumber. And incidentally, my dad really does have a great organic garden, but he likes his lawn. A lawn says he's middle class. A lawn says that he no longer lives on the outskirts of Chattanooga, Tennessee. A lawn says that he worked really, really hard to become an E8 and bought that house with his own money. That's what a lawn means. So when we start talking about different classes, when we start talking about one of the things, here it is. Here we go. What should everybody eat? How should everybody live? Notice that everybody is usually defined by dominant culture. And so when we decide that we're going to place certain values on people without sitting with and asking, hey, what does that front yard mean to you? How can I help you be healthy? How can I help you have the health you want? Maybe she wants to go to McDonald's, but she also wants to be able to buy a salad. She doesn't want to be preached to. She doesn't want to be condescended to. She doesn't want to be told what her neighborhood needs. What she wants is equal opportunity. She wants to be able to make more than $8.50 an hour, so even if she's not buying the $4 tomato, she can afford to buy fresh stuff at Albertsons. Oh, and she wants an Albertsons, I forgot. Yeah, she wants an Albertsons. Or something else like that. How? The question that I'm going to put to you before we end is how do we, I'm sorry, I'm just using you.
It's okay. That's what you get when you sit next to them. Sorry, no.
How do we stand with her? How do we say that her struggle is our struggle? I'm going to end with this because, good Lord, here it is. I'm like on page 8. You guys, damn. I just don't know what to say to y'all. We're going. 10 ways to be an ally. I'm just going to give you guys the highlights, but I think that they're really important. Oh, here's one thing. You know those Whole Foods we were talking about? And the Jonathans and the Harvest Ranch markets? There's only 3, right? So we're told that San Diego County can only support 3 of them.